Hello, welcome to Straight from Cloverfield, episode 165. We got a topic to talk about today. But first, I want to start off with an announcement that be aware, be aware of manufactured consent for data centers. Just saw something the other day. To sign something, they got all these things to sign something on social media, and it said, "Oh, we don't it's say mother something." But something to draw people in and uh uh and mislead them into consenting for something that we already said no to. It said we don't want data centers without regulations. No, we don't want data centers, period. No means no. Data centers are bad. Data centers kill bees. Data centers suck water and they destroy the planet. No data centers. But not regulation, not fucking moratorium, not fucking like public input. That's our input right here. No. No means no. It's data center bullshit and the fucking justification bullshit moving in like a goddamn rape. We do not want data centers. No means no. Cease and desist all data center construction. Cease and desist all data center construction indefinitely. Hold those proposing them and hold those building them accountable. Earth first, children first. Data centers are not safe for this earth. The land is the boss. We belong to the land. Our manifestation will not be possible without the land. You are a guest on the land. Respect that shit. No data centers. No means no. No data centers on Earth. No means no. We are here to defend the Earth. It's our home, our provider, our sacred mother. And we're going to protect it. Don't sign nothing without reading. Don't allow them to manufacture consent over something that sounds good. Is you keep up with regulations? Is you watching regulations? Are you watching them? How much bullshit they do in secret every day to screw you over? They don't get the benefit of the doubt. They do not have our consent for data centers. Bees and trees, without them we would not be alive. Now, another thing, okay, Gary, Indiana. We got power outage for like 11 days now. How long? Is this like a test run for what they want to do to see what happens? If something happens, they cut the power or something. These motherfuckers are so power hungry that they just want to play games with people's lives. But in Gary, Indiana, they're doing a lot of community rising together to help one another. Because remember, it's just us. Remember that. Not justice, it's just us. We need to come together and help each other. Make order followers obsolete. Make government obsolete. The government is nothing but mind control. Wanting to take something out of you. What can I get from you? Run you ragged and just suck out all your energy. No, we are equal here. The gift economy is where it's at. Volunteering. Not expecting anything in return. But people just give and help. So they're living an example right now in Gary, Indiana, of people taking care of each other. Communities coming together. Because we are one on the earth. We are all connected. We've been gaslighted into independence bullshit. We meant to work together. We meant to help each other. giving, without expectation. Because if somebody's suffering, we all suffering. Everybody has something to contribute. Volunteering is where it's at. Helping each other is where it's at. Because if somebody helps somebody in need, everybody hope that one day when they're in need, they'll be helped. And that's how it naturally should be. The tree don't eat its own fruit, like I always say. Lack of respect for the disabled is disheartening. Recently in Lebanon, Israel, and it says Israel, but you know what? It's Israel because they do this shit with weapons that came from USA. Israel is illegitimate. Do not have the right to exist when they bullying and force people out their homes. This is Turtle Island. Over there is Palestine. It is. It don't need a fucking predator's recognition as a state. It is. We are the resistance. This right here was, and always has been Turtle Island. Land back. Living on the land. Listening to the land. Learning unspoken language. The wisdom of non-speech. You sit with nonverbal individuals, you will learn sacred communication. So Israel attacked a facility for disabled individuals. I think it was children, disabled individuals. Nobody deserved that shit. They're going after hospitals. They're going after children. They're going after people with disabilities. Facility for individuals with disabilities was targeted in Lebanon. Was destroyed. The dark priest class, rich bullshit assholes. They have no respect for people that are disabled. Because they look at them as, what can I get from you? You got nothing to give me. And you don't deserve a goddamn thing when you oppress people and you harm people and you just think somebody not worth it because of what they look like. They have other ways of giving back. I have my partner who volunteers with people that are nonverbal. Resident that is nonverbal. She sat with them because, again, with fucking employment and the whole fucking controlled atmosphere of somebody giving somebody else a job to work with somebody, when you volunteer, you don't have that restriction. But like the job as much as to be with somebody like 30 minutes. That's not enough time to get to know somebody and really be a friend and an advocate and somebody understand. Get to know them. And it's unfortunate how the workforce is set up that way. She sits down and gets to know them. And she's grateful that she has time to do that. Because she don't have the privilege of a full-time work schedule. So she can volunteer and give them the time that they need to help, whatever they need with, learn their language. And in return, the individual she volunteer with is helping her become more assertive and go get a staff if somebody needs something that she couldn't get for them. And that's getting her out of her comfort zone. That's the gift economy right there. Just being, to give somebody, to give, not for a reason. Because it's the right thing to do, is what you do for your fellow being. Everybody had that survival. They gonna hold on to everything. And the whole survival system itself that everybody forced depend on fiat currency. The humanity of everything. Run people ragged. Take disabled benefits for somebody to get married and put all that shit on the spouse. give them caregiver burnout, make more medical problems that we don't fucking need. One income if a family member if a disabled family wanted to have a child, force them to only depend on one income, or severely cut income for somebody that has a disability. Well, disability income itself is for a fucking disability. Don't matter if the person married or not. Disability don't disappear when somebody get married. Medical health conditions that they need to be covered don't disappear when they get married. They make it be harder for people. Make it harder for disabled people. And anybody disabled try to work, it work against them. Their disability get cut. And disability for the disability. If they work extra, they should get to work extra and get whatever they get for that. Disability is for disability. It should not be treated as welfare, because that's not what it is. It's an income for somebody with a disability. They're already on the ground, and they literally set themselves to bully them and keep them on the ground, kicking a man when he's down. It's not a privilege, it's not a benefit. It's something that somebody needs to survive, because they're already at a bar underneath where they can be trampled on as they is already. And now they want to fucking make cuts, even more cuts to people's care, to alter somebody's life. And wherever they went and they had their like day programs or whatever, there's somebody, I think it was Indiana, that just recently had something, the whole schedule would be cut because all of a sudden the program that they needed or whatever the care that they had, oh, there's somebody decided, oh, you're gonna take, so they can come and take that away, right, and give it into the war fund, right, make somebody depressed, and suck the life out of them, take their life away, essentially. Gaslighting and offensive bullshit bots on social media, which is something that disabled people can reach out on who cannot get out and get connections. That wicked bots said horrible shit, make people feel so bad, probably trying to drive them just to destroy themselves or just retreat. Because dark peace guys don't like disabled people. They don't go back to the time when disabled people were shunned and not allowed to go outside, right? Bad enough that some people still today, they get really good personal care, but they don't get to go out as much as they should get to. They don't get to experience as much. They're still in a place. It shouldn't be that way. Family should not throw away their child. And it sucks because being a survival bullshit thing where people have to work till they die to survive. But it should not be that way because there is abundance here. It's set up this way. Scarcity and abundance. The dark peace guys play games with that shit. Putting a price on shit. Once together, the best thing to do is always grow local and help people that can't physically go local and don't just abandon somebody because they can't physically do it. Help them. And they get back in the way that they can get back. Everybody look at somebody like, I don't like that. I don't like how somebody can make a rash decision on somebody's appearance. Like fucking judges or somebody like a doctor or something saying that, oh, you can work. You don't know what the situation is. Do you reside in the body? Absolutely not. My partner, when her father was trying to fight for her disability, somebody made the audacity to say to her father, oh, we can't just give that out to anybody with a limp. She got a lot more than a limp. You can look on her inside, you will change your damn mind. As people need to not judge shit. She can't sit for a long time, it's painful. She can't stand for a long time, it's painful. She get twinges out of nowhere that she don't know if they're going to go away or not. She has chronic hip pain, back pain. She got a shin splint from all the overcompensation of her whole life because her right side of her body is sacrificed for the left side. She was a caregiver that took a lot out of her. She gave back in her own way that worked for her. She have anxiety. So her mind don't always work the way she wanted to. Her body don't always work the way she wanted to. She get back in her own way. Her late husband could not move at all, and he worked. But she cannot because she has issues with anxiety. She have issues with her body. She is unpredictable. She don't know when she's not gonna feel right. So caregiving works for her. It helps fulfill her purpose. Because advocacy and taking care of people is a passion of hers. And she's giving back in a way that works for her on this planet, which is how the planet works. And it sucks because everybody's so overworked that nobody have the chance or opportunity to volunteer and learn about how wonderful and the joy that you get, the intangible gift of helping somebody. It's an honor to have somebody that's nonverbal smile and bring them some joy. That smile is a gift. And people deserve to have visitors, and people deserve to have something to look forward to, deserve to have nice things. A lot of people criticize people if they have something nice. You know where they got it from, and it's none of your goddamn business. And people have reserved judgment. Get to know somebody before making a judgment. It's a lack of respect for the disabled. Because these monsters like the rat think they waste for an abuse. But now, the motherfuckers, the predators that want to fucking exploit children, like the rat, that's wasteful abuse. And Cosmic caught watching all of them that doing that shit. It don't go unnoticed. The only mother is exposing. We ain't gonna be quiet. We ain't gonna fucking forget. We're not scared. We're not afraid. We came here to do the work. And until it's done, we'll come back. Because there's always somebody need help. And Earth need help. As long as Earth need help, we will be back. Mislabeled income and the schedule debacle. Make it make sense. Disability checks on income for somebody who does not have the privilege of schedule commitment because they have a disability. Disability fluctuates. You might think somebody look a certain way. Have you seen the x-rays? Have you resided in their body? Then you can politely shut the fuck up. Disability checks are not welfare or benefit. The eugenicists, social engineers title them a benefit, inciting ableists like themselves to attack and resent the most vulnerable. The deviant motherfuckers equate the income that disabled people depend on to survive to welfare. Disability income is not welfare. Disabled people don't choose to be born in a disabled body or become disabled. Disability itself is a full-time job. I know it seems like I'm repeating myself, but there's lots of individuals who still need this message broadcasted loud and clear. And also, they should also know that if they was in that situation, they would get it too. Nobody immune from disability. Disability can strike at any time. Anybody can get ill. Anybody can fall. Anybody could have a child that's born that way, like my partner. So why in the hell would you not want to fight for it? And then you got people that say, well, my benefits not be affected yet. And that's income for people who don't have the privilege of schedule commitments. Yeah, I find myself calling it that because that's what they fucking call it. But it's not a benefit. It's an income for somebody who do not have the privilege of schedule commitment. And why would anybody not want to fight for that? When Nobody is immune from disability. Individuals fighting for disability income but forced to work or forced themselves to work and caused damage to themselves because they were accused of fraud or faking it. Where's the compensation for that damage? People that are forced, and where's the compensation of people that was judging them, trying to claim that trying to diminish their pain? That's a crime. You are not able to reside in somebody else's vessel. Nobody can make that determination. Doctor's not a fucking expert on a condition. You may be able to learn everything and get some piece of paper with your name on a dead tree, but unless you live that condition, you're not an expert. So you best learn from those who is actually living with the condition instead of running your mouth. Individuals fighting for disability income and forced to work are going through torture. And that's not okay. This is beyond unfair. And nobody should be struggling with disability, gaslighted by doctors and ableist bullies who don't reside in their vessel. Why can't employees cut the payroll of an employee that gets married? Why does the Fed have a right to do that when a disabled person marries? Disability income is an independent income because someone is disabled and doesn't have the privilege of a scheduled commitment. Disability doesn't diminish or disappear with a change in marital status. So why is disability income? So employers, right, they need to pay someone a living wage. Well, then why can't they say, well, you get married, so you gonna increase your living wage because you're gonna share with that person, right? So I can cut your paycheck. Why in the fuck does Social Security get to do that to the disabled person that gets married? Their income is for disability expenses, and their income, independent income for somebody who don't have the privilege to do that on their own. And they didn't ask for disability, and they did not ask to be dependent on a fucking fiat currency bullshit. And they get back in their own way. So why the fuck would you make them suffer like that? And then they're left with nothing if something happens. Everybody deserves their own independent income and dignity. They should not have to ask anybody for money. Some motherfucker just, it's probably a fucking bot. I know there's a lot of rage bait out there, but some motherfucker, bot, whatever, had the audacity to make a comment of, some bullshit like some adult responsibilities for adults or some bullshit. Stop infantilizing. Somebody who do not have the privilege of a scheduled commitment and need to have an income is an adult. Adults have the right to get married. Adults have the right to keep their income when they're not capable of having the privileged scheduled commitment to do their own, to earn their own income, not by default, and forced to be on a fucking fiat bullshit satanic currency that funds fucking war, funds the fucking Epstein bullshit. We're all forced to be on this blood money bullshit fucking merry-go-round. And they have the audacity to say shit like that to somebody that's disabled and cannot help the condition that they was born with or became. Adult roles, adult responsibilities. Go fuck yourself. That fucking behavior If you cannot contemplate that disability income is for somebody who don't have the privilege of a scheduled commitment and need to live, then that's the level of immaturity that I cannot have patience for. How about that? How many fucking immature couples? Marriage don't mean that you're a mature adult. Alright? They can take that comment and shove it straight up the crack of their ass. Or the opening of the plug if it was a bot. Whatever. And then also in the case of DAC, SSDI, disabled adult child benefit, like my partner, based on her father's income, her father has passed. So parents don't live forever, and the income level based on a parent's work history should turn over to a spouse willing to carry the torch for this person if the Fed had a DAC recipient's best interest at heart. They would not get cut off when they got married. If it's based on a parent's work history, it should turn over and be based on a spouse's work history. But you're going to cut them off, right? And then what if they were a spouse that was abusive or whatever? They fucked, right? They make them have to depend on their spouse and ask for money when they're trying to. They should have a right. Everybody should have a right to have an independent income that they can spend without begging anybody. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's reduce somebody that's already down, kick them even harder. This whole system is set up about bullying. If the parent is a caregiver their whole life, the parent don't live forever. So what happens then? The spouse wants to come in and love them. So they don't end up in a, but you know what? Because society wants them to end up in a home, right? So they get a kickback and they get their stockbroker or whatever the fuck how they profit from people in the home and we'll give them like $30 to spend, or some people were saying. So they can really control the income, right? And take it back. And that's what they want to do. That's the goal. Because if it wasn't, there'd be no marriage penalty if you're disabled. So the spouse is willing to carry the torch and help with... The spouse is going to help with their spouse. Because that's what spouses help each other, right? So the parent was getting that for the child when they was helping them, right? So why in the fuck wouldn't the spouse get that to help take care of the medical issue, disability, and insurance that disability people need? I'm sorry about that. I misspoke, but you know what? My partner is disabled, a disability person. So I'm a puppet, and that seemed very, very, heartless thing. Sometimes I say things that don't come out properly, so please accept my apology. Okay, individual disabilities. If the spouse want to take that torch and carry the torch, why in the fuck would the funding for somebody with a disability go away? When that whole funding, the whole reason for that funding for the whole time was because it was disabled, and it should not be based on anybody's work history. It should be based on because somebody's disabled. And they need something livable, and it should be livable. My partner was lucky to have lived in an apartment that is subsidized. But what the fuck, her whole check would get blown out the water if she didn't live in a subsidized place. And now in this fucking place right here, now we just learned that with the fucking lease that she signed, right? They say that now that you sign that, they put some ridiculous clause in there saying that now that you sign this lease this time, because they gotta sign a lease, because they don't sign the lease, the portion of HUD that helps pay for it gets dropped, and she will not be able to afford to live. So in the lease, they say now, maintenance can enter if you fill out a maintenance form without making a date of when they're going to come and do it. So they just come in. No. Absolutely not. She's been living since 2004. Since 2004. We always had a paper that said you write down what the problem was. You check the thing. Is it okay if I come in when you're not there? If you're okay, then you check it. If you're not, then you say no. And then you find another time. This time they just took some bullshit now. People signed the lease. Some bullshit thing that nobody told us. Said, well, if you say something that's wrong with your apartment or put a variance request, they're allowed to come in whenever they want. And that's bullshit. Absolutely not. So all right there, they really disrespect the disabled person's right to boundaries because they think that the disabled apartment complex is a revolving door for some reason. But it ain't. So we gotta have a goddamn camera and everything, but take up space on the phone, which is why we have to get part another reason why we have to use a laptop now, which is a phone for the videos. There's a whole thing. But to say that's all of a sudden it's okay to be a revolving door now if somebody needs something fixed. I know it's an emergency. Emergency is different. I know emergency don't matter. I'm not saying it's an emergency. I'm saying any kind of repair. It's not okay to just drop by whenever. No. So basically, when they signed that lease this time, even if that whether the case was or wasn't in the lease, that's signing under duress. If they don't sign a lease, they can't afford to live there. But anyway, I was just saying that a lot of people that have a low income and don't have the privilege of living in a subsidized housing situation. And it's really unfortunate that, and then a lot of people say, well, my benefits not getting affected. You know what? It don't matter if it isn't, but somebody in other states, it's bullshit because imaginary lines should not have different laws and rules, but the fucking dark police guys don't give a fuck. So the imaginary line, you don't know what somebody else is facing, and you should have it in your heart to want to fight for them too. That's what we do. My partner's been okay. My partner's stable right now. You never know. It's always a fucking uncertain because you got a lot of fucking monsters out there that are very, very, very disregard disabled people. They fail to see what they bring to this planet. Because they always look at things as in business and transaction bullshit. The intangible gift of helping is so much, you can't put a price on that shit. So, let's see. Just why I said, like, they should turn, in the case of the disabled child, they should turn over to a spouse willing to carry the torch for the income. Let me just reread this again because I got off tangent and I just want to finish this paragraph. It says, also in the case of DAC, disabled adult child SDI, parents don't live forever, and income level based on a parent's work history should turn over to a spouse willing to carry the torch for the Fed. Oh, never mind. I said it wrong. I misspoke. Okay. Also in the case of DAC SDI, disabled adult child, Social Security disability, parents don't live forever. An income level based on a parent's work history should turn over to a spouse willing to carry the torch for it. And that's the way it should be if the Fed had the DAC recipient's best interests at heart. But they would rather the DAC recipient be dependent on subsidized housing or facility so they can take a piece of their income back. A prison sentence they didn't ask for because of the crime of being born in the body they didn't ask for. That's another thing. Is a lot of times there's just that fucking ableist infantilization notion that a disabled person does not have the desire to have a house or family or spouse even. They're human, just like anybody else. They're human. They have the same wants and desires as anybody else. They should not be looked down on if they want to have a family, or get married, or live in a house, or have a house. They should not be forced to depend on subsidized and institutions and facilities. They should have the opportunity to live like anybody else. It's bullshit. I mean, everybody should have the opportunity to have that. And nobody should have to be living like all these, working their ass off. Everybody should have what they need, the basics that they need. And children should not have to struggle. And vulnerable, the children the most vulnerable should never have to struggle. We all took care of each other and treat and it was one equal circle. No rulers led by the land. Listen to the trees. Can you believe this clown? The other day we was watching Next Level Soul. I'm not gonna be watching that no more. They had this clown on. It was related to that Monroe. They knew that Monroe motherfucker and the Institute, Monroe Institute crap that was fucking brainwashing children and trying to trigger the dark. That's exactly what they did. Trying to trigger a child's dark night of the soul. That's something that's sacred that should be only be initiated by the individual in the body, the individual themselves. That is that that is that Monroe bullshit and whatever the fuck these fucking experiments to protect children from school, what they was doing with the fucking gate program. That was a gross violation of the cosmic law of non-interference. Individuals are supposed to have that awakening on their own, and they're trying to trigger it in a child and manipulate it. That's downright diabolical. And then to top it all off, Life Touch was the Epstein fucking predator catalog. And they had fucking records of every child. Protect children from school because you think that shit just went away, but it fucking rebranded. So they can fucking recruit fucking psychopathic soldier force and murder children overseas. They have no respect for children or women or the divine feminine. It's up to us. Not just it's just us taking care of each other, making them obsolete. So that's basically it. That's the thing. Come together, community, just us, buy local. One other thing too, Asian Orange just ordered from some crazy amount of beef from some unregulated whatever from somewhere. I have no idea. Not local. My partner don't. We're gonna be talking about this, but be wary. If you need to eat beef, if you like beef, if that's your choice, do it locally. Know where it's coming from. Know what it is. Because a giant ton of ground beef was ordered from somewhere. And I say beef in quotes. Because the Dark Peace class is fucking... They got their bizarre crackpot ways of thinking that they thwart their karma. So who the fuck knows that's bodies of people that were slaughtered? They also have a mass murder that I found out something about some kind of thing with wild horses and burros. And they dropping regulations that was already bad to begin with. So, pay attention to what you eat. And if you have to eat beef, do it locally. Know where it's coming from and what it is. I think it's very wise to meet the person that getting it to you, if possible. Get to know your local farmer. Get to know your local produce grower. Grow your own food, however you can. So, just putting that out there. So, I thank you for listening. I'll see you on the next one.